Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and welcome to the Dice Tower. I wanted to talk a little bit about game awards. There's a lot of game awards out there, and maybe you don't know much about them. I thought I'd talk a little bit about each of the game awards and give a little bit of my opinions and what the game awards might mean to you. Now, I say this realizing that I run the Dice Tower Gaming Awards, which is a group of bloggers and people from the Dice Tower. Each year we put together our favorite games from the past year. So that's self-serving to talk about that, obviously, but realize that I put those together. But there are a lot of different game awards out there, and you might see these on boxes. Realize that this is not a comprehensive list, and I'm deliberately not mentioning some of the small awards, not to say they're not important. There's a lot of little bloggers, podcasts, a lot of countries have their own very specific awards for those, and I'll mention some of the bigger ones. But I do not mean any slight on anything that I do not mention in this video. The Games Magazine Awards, which you don't see as much anymore because as far as I can tell, they stopped giving them out in 2014, from 1991 to 2014. Every year, the Games Magazine would put it their top 100 games or the 100 games of the past year. It was a pretty interesting list, and they pointed, sometimes you'd look and say, that was the game of the year, until I realized that it was basically just the single editor of Games Magazine was essentially picking his favorite game from the previous year. But they still had a good amount of weight, although this is an award that's, not being given out today. The Golden Geek Awards. These are from Board Game Geek, and if you are a registered user of that site, you can vote on these, starting in 2016, going up to the present. These are essentially a People's Choice type awards, although it is a gamer's choice, because people who are part of Board Game Geek, a very large website about board games, are going to be this way. Now, they do tend to skew to what is popular, so a popular game can win, and occasionally I'll see games win categories I clearly think that they don't belong in that category. Of course, it's all very subjective and stuff, but if you want to know what a lot of people like, hands down, this is one of the best choices out there. The Spiel des Jahres is the largest award in the industry. It's been around since 1979, goes to the present. This is from a very strictly run committee of people in Germany. And you got to realize the Spiel des Jahres, while its parameters have changed over the years to some degree, is picking the best family game for the German market. So the game has to have a German printing. It's not going to ever be a complex game. And in fact, they've skewed lighter and lighter as time goes by. But they've picked various amounts. They are currently picking 3 nominees per year with a recommended list, and then they pick one of these. It's a very big award. If you win the Spiel des Jahres, especially in Germany, your sales will go up considerably. And this one, it goes very strongly. So if you see this logo on a game, you can be assured you're going to get a good family game. In 2011, they had given out a special award, I think, to Dominion, because it wasn't quite, Spiel des Jahres, a little too complex for that. So they spun off a more complex game award, the Kennerspiel, which is, again, kind of like a gamer's game. And so that started in 2011 to the present. So if you see Kennerspiel, very similar, same group of people who are voting on it, but it skews more towards what a gamer might be looking for. And also since 1989, they do a Kinderspiel, which as far as I can tell is the only major award that takes kids gaming seriously and doesn't just randomly pick some, who pooped in the toilet type game that came out from Hasbro. They look for good, serious kids games, but again, ones that are available in Germany. The Deutsche Spiel Preis, the DSP is what it's called, is very similar to the Golden Geek Awards in that it is a voted on People's Choice type awards. It existed before that, but this isn't for people from Board Game Geek. Again, it's for regular gamers, but likely with a German audience because it is a German award. But people all over the world, if you want to go vote in this, you can. And these awards have been going on since 1990 to the present. Mensa Select. This is an interesting one where a group of people from Mensa, anybody who really wants to go can go play games, but the folks who attend this, it's a weekend gathering, and the folks from Mensa who attend it will vote, and you will be playing game after game after game over this weekend and then voting on which of these are the best, and they give out 5 awards each year. The Mensa Select used to pick very simple, easy-to-play games, which seemed a little bit at odds with the fact that it's called Mensa, although this has definitely changed. If you look at the 5 games that have come out this year, there's getting more and more savvy about picking, in my opinion, more quality games. But if you see the Mensa Select on a box, know that it can't be a very long game for sure, because of the process of how they do it kind of excludes 2 and 3 hour games. As that being said, though, they have put out some pretty good picks, and there's 5 of them each year. The Asdor Awards, or the Golden Ace Awards, this is from France. This has only started in 2015, but they've been picking some pretty popular choices. We also have the Origins Award. The Origins Awards have a very mixed history, to some very embarrassing picks in the past, frankly, and there's been a lot of politics involved in the Origins Awards over the years. John Ward, who ran Origins and Gamma for the past 10 years, made a lot of changes in the awards. And the way that it works now is there are committees that are made up of publisher, retailer, media member, and distributor, and then one other member who's the jury foreman for each category. Each one's different. They will pick that group of 5 will pick the nominations. So it's a very small group picking the nominations, and then the Origins Academy will vote on those awards, those lists to give it the Origins Award, and then the people themselves at Origins can vote on the award. And there's 2. Sometimes they cross, sometimes they're different awards, but they're certainly a lot better than they used to be. Although sometimes they still will make you scratch your head and why did they do it, but realize it's because it's down to the vagaries of 5 people. Some of them who have skin in the game. IGA, the International Gaming Awards. Greg Schlosser runs this one from 2000 to the present. This is just basically a bunch of game enthusiasts, and they tried to make it an international thing where it was all over the world. People talking about, from various places. They have a very strict rules on getting into this committee, but these awards definitely skew towards what we call Euro games. So if you like Euro games, these are the kind of games that they will pick. They also do a 2-player award. These awards have kind of, for a while they were very popular on the internet. I don't hear as much about them these days, but they do exist. Meeple Choice Awards, very similar. There was a very big Yahoo group, Spiel Freaks, where they would vote on these awards each year, and again, usually Euro games would float to the top. This still goes on, but since Spiel Freaks is a pale husk of itself, most people do not go there. They go to Board Game Geek now. I would say the Golden Geek Awards have replaced these awards, even though these still occur. Now, it's such a small sample of people voting in them that it just isn't a notable award at all, really. Tric Trac Awards. Tric Trac is a very large website in France. From 2001 to the present, so they have a committee and people with that website putting out awards. And for the French awards and such, again, this is another big award in that regard, and almost equivalent to the Golden Geek Awards. UK Games Expo has their awards from 2007 to the present. They're voted at the UK Games Expo, and again, it's kind of games that are available in England at that point in time. So sometimes there's some serious omissions, but mostly just because those companies didn't submit their games to the awards. There's also War Game Awards, and there's various ones out there, and I'm having a hard time finding what is the definitive one. I know it was the Charles S. Roberts Awards for a while, but as far as I can tell, those ended in 2012. But if you see a War Game Award on a box, it probably means something, because that group of folks who are voting on them are very specific on what they want. Diana Jones is a weird award. It's called Diana Jones because they found a plaque that was Indiana Jones, but the IN was burned off or something in a fire, so they just hand out the Diana Jones Award for excellence in gaming. But it could be board gaming, it could be role-playing gaming, it could be a person, it could be a group, it could be a website. It's something different, but sometimes it's a board game, right? Like, for example, last year, I think Charterstone was nominated, but the winner was Actual Play, which was everybody who plays live stuff on YouTube. Does that mean we won here too? Who knows? It's an odd award in the mix. And then there's other awards for RPGs and miniature gamers, but I'm not getting into them. I'm talking about ones that are specifically in board games. So those are some of the awards. And again, we got bloggers and podcasters, the Golden Elephant Awards, and more things like that, which do their thing. And if there's an award that you would like to promote and you think is important, mention it in the comments below. These are just the different awards that are out there. I'm not saying that any of them are necessarily bad or fantastic. I think they all meet very different criteria and different groups of people. I was looking for a very strong committee-based people who are in the know about board games, which is why I started Dice Tower Awards. But these awards are also fantastic, and I certainly pay attention to them. That's what I think. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching the Dice Tower.